Go for it, please.
We live in a world and in a country where it feels like everything's kind of established for us already. We don't really see a lot of big progressive change. And I'm not just talking about politics, I mean just in society in general. It feels like you see the same music, the same shows, the same movies, they all seem the same. So when a movement comes up that you feel like you can become a part of and you can watch it grow, it's like amazing to see. And I think soccer is currently on that trend, and I believe at the pace that it's going, within, not within a year, but within time, soccer will become the biggest sport in the United States. Allow me to show you a video first from Copa 90, a YouTube channel that has over 1 million subscribers that I want to work to. It's also kind of intense.
No matter what color you are, no matter what language you speak, you're here for one thing, and that is football.
Turn your wound into wisdom. Tell me of your pain. I promise to list. And when you
It's not always about the game, it's about passion, it's about having a good time. Football can be so much more than just 90 minutes.
all 7 of these kids can speak a word of English because of this game, football. You all talk. Watch out for those
So what's interesting about that video is obviously a lot of it wasn't based in the United States, but a lot of it was also like, and it's kind of crazy that stuff like that is actually happening here, but it's at the moment still kind of under the rug, but more and more people are getting involved in it, and like it's just completely like nothing you see in American sports in general. It's just so much driven by the fans. But what I'll be discussing more in detail, because I don't want to rant for 20 minutes, is its popularity with young people and how it's growing a lot. What it can teach us about like life and how such a simple game can become something so much more to people, me included, and how soccer is incredibly affordable for everyone. According to a 2015 ESPN poll, which obviously ESPN's a reputable source when it comes to sports, the most reputable, soccer from the ages of 12 to 17 is the second most popular sport behind American football. And what they don't mention, but what's really interesting, is that's actually because of the video game by EA Sports FIFA, their yearly soccer franchise, which is, everyone plays it. And that has largely become a big reason why the sport's become so popular. And I think that people continuing to play it will end up causing it to grow more. Pro soccer fans are also on social media, whether it's YouTube like you saw, that I showed you one channel, but there are so many channels where it's Americans just talking about soccer, and that, even though it seems kind of insignificant and stupid, like you need the grassroots movements like that to build popularity with young people, and that'll only get them more interested in it. And the growth, as I mentioned, has become remarkable. American soccer it's gone from being something that like you play when you're a little kid to something that you watch your entire life. We're past the jokes of soccer moms bringing oranges to games. Now it's like a legitimate culture, and it's becoming a part of what makes America America, and that's amazing to me. And to bring it back to my thesis, but by professional soccer securing the fandom of young people now, it's only going to help the sport grow in the long run, because while it doesn't make sense in the moment, if there is young people, even if they don't stick with it, they're going to have kids. Then if their dad or mom's a soccer fan, they're going to watch soccer, and so on and so on. So this isn't going to happen overnight, but through time it will grow. And I think you already see, okay, it's the most popular sport in the world. This isn't even like we're lacking behind on this. So I think we're going to catch up, especially because so many people are becoming fans of it. What I also like about soccer and why I think it's going to become so big in the country is it can teach us so much about life. And I quoted myself again because it's so cool that I can do that. And I actually did it 3 times, which is a little sad, but I'm proud of it. And what I said was, Celtic, my favorite soccer team, one of my two favorite soccer teams, changed soccer for me. It showed me why the beautiful game was so beautiful. I learned what supporters were, what it felt like to belong, and why soccer is amazing. And I say that and it sounds over exaggerated, but it really is true. When you're standing in a crowd of hundreds or thousands of people who are all there to share one common goal with you, it makes you feel like you belong. It doesn't matter what race you are, what you look like, what you think. It's like you all unite under a game, and I think it's crazy. And as I just mentioned, I love the emotion that comes from it. It can bring out, even though it can bring out negative things in people, the good things outweigh it so much, and it brings people together in ways you'd never imagine it. Whether it's people raising money through charities, just from a game, and it's crazy to see. And I said, I love the emotion that comes from such a simple game. Soccer is more than 22 men or women kicking a ball. We can learn a lot about people, emotion, and love through this game. That is beautiful and amazing to me. And on this article I wrote, to end it off, I wrote, thank you for giving me something to escape with. Thank you for giving me a passion. Thank you for showing me the world. Thank you for giving me a voice. And even though it sounds like over the top, it really, that's what it means to me, and I know that I'm not alone by saying that. And to connect it back to my thesis, soccer can offer lessons that may not be obvious in other sports. It's simple soccer. You're able to connect it, and it's easy to understand it. But with football, it's difficult to get into. But in other sports like baseball and basketball, you have to understand it. But I feel like soccer is so narrative driven because it's such a simple game that you can find that within it. And I think that'll bring people into it from an entertainment perspective. And like I mentioned, I just don't think other sports can really offer that to people. And my final point is how affordable soccer is. Soccer has always been a sport for working class people. From its foundation, it's always been made for the average man or woman to go on a Saturday to go see their favorite team for a really cheap price. And as you can see, the supporter section is like the go-to section. That's where you go with, like the video I showed you, with everyone jumping up and down, that's where you go to sit. The average season ticket is $378. That is remarkably cheap. And if you look at the graph on the left, that is the average price for an NFL game. The Dallas Cowboys, $208 for one game. You can get 18 plus games for $378. It's a sport made for average people to go watch, and that's insane. And the sport's always been like that, and it's never become, you don't see ridiculous prices because that's not what the sport is about. In a CNN article, the first article I mentioned was it was on Big D Soccer, which is a part of Dallas's newspaper. But my second article, which I referenced in the second point, is from CNN by Ahiza Garcia. It's how Major League Soccer, the professional American soccer league, is trying to become big. In an interview with Commissioner Don Garber, he mentions the league can also count on the fact that Spanish language coverage of our league is part of our DNA, said Garber, who adds that 35% of his fan base is Hispanic, the league's fan base. We don't have to have a special Hispanic soccer month. That quote, kind of looking at it now, it seems a little out of place, but I still think it offers interesting insight to how the sport is really made for everyone. It doesn't push away anyone. Doesn't matter who you are. If you want to be included, you can be included. And as I've mentioned previously, it's completely unique from a sport. In the sense of a sports experience, you don't get anything else like it. Haley and I went to a game last month, and it was crazy. And even though the NYC didn't end up winning, it was still a blast because you just don't get that anywhere else. And once again, to bring it to my thesis, soccer is extremely affordable. It has always been accessible for the working class. Being able to easily go to games will go far in the U.S. Because if it's a Saturday night and you can go to a game for $20 a person and then get something crazy out of it, to me that seems like a no-brainer. And this is kind of my counter argument, but I'm going to compare a soccer game to an NFL game for you to show you just what the difference is really. For a soccer game, you're able to go to see a professional, high-quality sporting event at an extremely cheap price. You can sit in a group of people who all want to be there and are passionate, and they don't judge you for being passionate too. You can jump, you can sing, you can do whatever you want, and you don't have to feel like you're an outcast for it. And as I mentioned in the beginning, being a part of a movement that you can watch grow and see people get into is one of the most insane things I've ever experienced, and it's still growing, and it'll never stop. But it's just phenomenal to watch. But when you look at an NFL game, it's around $300 for just one game. you're expected to sit and be quiet, because if you jump up and down, then they'll put you on the TV as the one idiot who's jumping up and down in a sporting game. And you could spend nearly 4 hours at one game. A soccer game doesn't go any longer than 2 hours. It's a no-brainer to me. And if you look at this interesting picture I found, out of 48, a football game is about 60 minutes worth of play time. The ball is in play for about 11 minutes of that 60. You're not getting, the ball's in play for 90 minutes in a soccer game. You're getting action the entire time. You're going to spend almost as much as a season ticket for soccer and get 11 minutes out of it. You're going to be sitting there for almost, think about that, 4 hours, you get 11 minutes of action. Which one would you prefer? To me, it's a no-brainer. Going to a soccer game, you get from a fan experience, from a price experience, and just from a logical reasoning. It makes no sense to go to a football game. So my call to arms to you would be, go to a game. Even though in America the off-season's beginning very soon for soccer, and all the New York teams have been eliminated at this point, the European leagues never stop. They're still going on, and in March the season will start up again for all leagues. The 4 main teams in New York are NYCFC, New York Red Bulls, New York Cosmos, and the Rochester Rhinos. Go to a game. It's cheap, and if you don't enjoy it, you didn't lose $300 on something you spent 4 hours sitting at. So to review my main points, why do I think soccer is going to grow? Its popularity amongst young people, what it can teach us about life, and its cheap price. Thank you guys for listening. This is my bibliography. Thank you.